Livestream show where we showcase amazing Australian women speakers. So you get to see the huge amount of talent available. And so we can shift the stats from 30% women speakers at events to 50%. Joining me today is the fabulous Helen Harrison from Power of Change Counselling and Coaching. With over 17 years of experience as a trauma therapist, marriage therapist, and transformational coach, Helen offers a one-stop solution to support you in healing the pain, addressing the stress, and creating the life and relationships you truly deserve. Helen helps you break cycles, reignite connection, and transform pain into purpose through powerful retreats and coaching. And Helen is also a #1 best-selling author. Welcome to the show, Helen. How are you today?
I'm really good, and thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's absolutely fabulous to have you here. One of the best things I love about interviewing all these fabulous women is that I get to read through all of your bios and what you actually do. And I love that that you're a therapist and a transformational coach. So can you tell us more about that? What that actually involves?
Yes, so generally, couples who come and see me, they initially come because they're in pain.
Mm.
So I work with them, and then from there, they may want to dive a bit deeper and sort of really understand their triggers, what's happening for them in the relationship. Because like I say to all my relationships aren't here to make us happy. They're here to heal our wounds, and particularly our childhood wounds. So what I suppose I offer is as deep as people want to go. uh, and that's what I love as I've sort of developed my own skill set.
Yeah.
uh, I am able to offer a sort of one-stop shop as such. So whether it is marriage therapy, whether it's deeper counselling and exploring yourself, or whether it's coaching.
Yes, yes, and it's such a diverse,
Mm,
say, skill set, and
mm.
your job would never be dull. I can imagine.
No, no. And if it is, I will start a podcast or write a book
Yeah,
or do
yeah,
something, because I'm quite a creative person and I need that
yeah,
outlet to express myself,
yeah.
which is what I love about being in business for myself,
Oh,
is that
yeah.
I get to do that. Like, it's creativity, and I suppose I really love learning. So whatever I learn, I like to then pass on.
Oh, yeah.
So
To use it, which
yeah,
solidifies the learning at the end of the day, doesn't it?
yes,
Yeah, yes.
totally, yeah.
Something else I read in your bio is that there's a strong focus on healing. Tell us more about that.
So I think for all of us, we come from trauma.
Mm,
So trauma can be you're 5 years old and your dog dies. If
yeah,
you're with parents who aren't able to support you to actually process what goes on in the body and remove that charge, that stays in the body. And then 8 years old, you can hear your parents fighting. How is little 8-year-old meant to process that?
mm.
Um, they can't.
Not
So it stays
easily.
in the body. And then we get into these adult relationships where, you're annoying me. It's because your partner is tapping on something.
Mm,
So it's a great opportunity for growth.
yeah,
And with growth, you then get really clear of what you want in a relationship, what you want in life. Uh, so it really is a win-win.
mm,
I see it as like you're peeling the onion back so you can live authentically. And when you live authentically, you will then make decisions that are in alignment with your values and what you value, how you want to show up in the world. And that's what I absolutely love about what I do, because my top value is to teach and inspire. So
yeah,
whether it's with couples, individuals, I'm now branching into retreats.
yeah.
I did do a bit of speaking for a time, and I will continue to do speaking, but it isn't my main focus,
Mm.
um, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There's a lot that, a big chunk of your work involves the one-to-one sort of situation.
Yes, and look, I'll call it a fantasy. I'm going to be a keynote speaker. I'm going to get out and I'm going to start speaking.
Yeah.
And look, I loved it because I wanted to see if it was fear that was stopping me from making the steps.
Yeah.
And so over this last, it would be year and a half to 2 years, I've put myself into positions to really feel the nerves and to
Mm.
really drop into all that goes on as a speaker. And I recognized I love speaking, but
Yeah.
it's not to the big groups. It's more the intimate groups that really feed me and inspire
Mm.
me. And so that's where I thought, well, where can I do this then? So I thought, well, retreats,
Yeah.
get couples in and work in the smaller groups. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win. I get to still teach and inspire, but do it in groups, but more intimate groups.
Yes, yes, and people who are more invested in being there. You
Yes.
can go, you can be invited to speak at a conference, and people are genuinely interested. But when people have paid a lot of money to attend a retreat, they're going to turn up ready to work, and
Totally.
if you're there to teach and inspire, that's going to float your boat, I would imagine.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah,
totally. And like any exchange of money, it's just an exchange of values. I get to live my top value, which is teaching and
yeah,
inspiring. And the
yeah,
exchange is, well, they're invested, but they also do it by purchasing to be part of there and
yeah,
putting money forward. So it is a win-win.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the vibe of retreats because it's almost a magical feeling, because people are turning up to get results and to work hard, but there's also a heightened expectation that something's going to shift. So does
Yes.
that generally tend to happen? Like how do you see that evolving in your retreats?
Well, I believe the shifts already begin when you get people out of their familiar environment,
Yeah.
and particularly where I'm moving into is this beautiful retreat up on Mount Tambourine, and
All right.
it's just creating the space and
Yeah.
the safety.
Yeah.
The work begins then, it's tiny little shifts that people begin to notice how much calmer they feel in their body,
Yeah.
slow down. Because look, a lot of my work is helping people regulate their nervous systems.
Oh,
Um, so we often this is what's so great about relationships and looking at how you react. Do you fight, flight, freeze, but also fawn, which is the people pleaser? So
oh,
when you remove people from their environments and go into a newer, safer environment with also looking at and seeing other couples, because there's a bit of shame around marriage therapy. Look, it's definitely got better, I've noticed.
yeah.
And the younger ones coming through, they don't have that. Right, let's get to it. Let's see what's going on. It
Yeah.
tends to be the ones perhaps in their late 30s and 40s
Right.
that do have a little bit of shame around it. But get people in an environment and shifts begin. And I truly believe it's the quality of questions you ask people.
Right.
Um, and so in that sort of forum, it's for people to ponder and to really begin to notice
Mhm.
internally, because it is also breaking um, the couples up so that they actually get to connect with their partner.
Yeah.
And like in my marriage counselling, I offer a workbook.
All
Not
right.
offer. It's an add-on when people do the packages, and it's really intriguing hearing their response. They said we would never normally sit down and sort of ask these sort of questions of each other or plan, and because I live and breathe this, it's like, well, don't you?
Mm,
Don't you work out, your values and where are you aligned and where are you not aligned, and
mm,
your goals and your 1 year and 3 year and vision. And just because I live and breathe it, not everybody
mm.
uh, lives like that. But often
Yeah,
business owners are really good at doing it in their business, but not in
yeah.
their relationship.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's sometimes it can be a little bit down the pecking order of priority,
yeah. Yeah.
particularly very highly driven
Mm,
business owners. Often they have, if we take it back a step, we put energy into what we value. So, say for me, one of my top values is teaching and inspiring.
mm,
My second is wealth,
Yeah.
creating wealth. My third is health, and my fourth is relationships,
Right.
and particularly my intimate. It doesn't mean
Mm.
that it isn't important to me. It's extremely important to me.
Yes.
However, I'm not going to put all my eggs in the one basket. There are so many parts that
Mm.
make me me. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I think it's crucial that people really understand what they value.
Mm.
Because look at your bank balance and look where you spend your money. It'll show you what you value. You might
Yes.
value socializing.
Mm.
You might value traveling. It's not
Mm.
wrong or right. And
Mm.
what you value is a bit like a fingerprint,
Mm.
and that is totally different for everybody. So the work that I do with couples is not making your partner wrong because they perhaps like to socialize more than you, or they like to spend money on experiences and you like to save money. It's not wrong or right, but I'm like the middle ground where I'm a bit like the mediator or the
Yeah.
speaker for them both, so they can start learning how to communicate
Mm.
where it isn't hurting each
Yeah.
other. Does
Yeah.
that sort of make sense?
Oh, totally, totally. And
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is that we can get so caught up in our lives and in the routine of our lives that
Yeah.
we don't carve out the time to stop and think what our values are. And when we don't do
Yes.
that, we're just in a state of reaction. Unless
Yes,
we can understand
absolutely.
that. Yeah. And I can imagine that there are just so many couples that would come along and just be blown away by the end result in terms of
Yeah.
identifying what their values actually are
Mm.
and isolating not only their own but also their partners as well and understanding that you must see
Yes.
quite a transformation with some people.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's a level of acceptance,
Mm.
and it's like they've got out of the fantasy of how they would like their partner to be. Because a
Yeah.
really big question I ask people is, can you accept your partner exactly as they are today?
Yeah.
And often it's, well, no, I'm living in the potential of who I would like them to be,
Yeah.
which takes you out of the present moment, which creates, the overthinking and the worrying. Because a big question people sit in often is, do I stay or do I go?
Mm.
So it's training the mind to be able to unhook from those charges
Yeah.
and that energy that is around all of that, because the key is to be in the present moment.
Yeah.
um so it's, yeah, there's lots of moving parts to it.
Mm.
There's as much or as little that you want to do around this. uh, but for me, it's so rewarding. I just,
Mm.
yeah, it's my calling, you know. Yeah, I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
no mistakes about that.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it is very rewarding. And I do want to touch on that. My job isn't to keep people together.
Yeah.
My job is for people to live from authenticity, in
Mm.
alignment with their values and their yeses,
Yeah.
but teaching them skills how to connect,
Yeah.
um, and how to connect on that emotional level. Because often by the time people see me, they've thought about it for often a few years, but
Yeah.
don't action it.
Yeah.
So they're often both in a world of pain by the time they get to me. So a
Mhm.
lot of my work is supporting people to get out of each other's lane and
Yeah.
to get back into what's going on for you.
Yeah.
Then we get you back, um, to really look at what's happening in the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and I gather that that's a very crucial first step in the whole process.
Totally. The
Mm.
first session is I initially just observe and I watch.
Yeah.
And often a lot of blaming and mud throwing and
Mm.
victim, and they can both list all that the partner's doing wrong.
Mm.
So they are very, very conscious of the downsides of their relationship,
Yeah.
but they're unconscious to the upsides because they're clouded in the world of pain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my job is to support them to come back into center,
Mm.
and to really start owning some of those shadow parts.
Yeah.
Um, It depends how much resistance is there. But
Mm.
often by the time people are in my office, they're not always in that pain. I'll get some younger ones coming through these days who are wanting to do sort of just a reset. It's not major, but
Yeah.
they just know that, they're busy, they've got kids,
Mm.
they haven't put a lot of time and energy, and they're in here um, to just get a few tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get themselves back on track again.
Yes, and that's where the retreats come in. It's not for people in deep trauma
Yep.
or the relationship is really broken down or there's betrayal. The retreats aren't for that.
Yep.
It's more just taking some space and time and to reconnect
Yeah.
and learning some great skills along the way, and particularly how to have habits to constantly reconnect.
Yeah.
I'm gobsmacked of I'll say to couples, "So, how often do you check in?" Like, really connect. I mean,
Mm.
for me, it's every day. Every day, I think it's crucial with your partner, but for some couples and I get it, I've raised three sons, so I do know how busy life can be, but
Mm.
if you guys aren't right, it trickles through to everything.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an overflow. Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So do you have a standout moment or breakthrough that you often recall and just, reaffirms that this is the job for you?
Oh, that's a good question. You mean with somebody I've worked for or worked with, a couple or an individual, or just for me personally around
Mm.
where I've spoken or
I think anything that really comes to mind, because something that really, what am I trying to say? That has been very pivotal in keeping you going.
yes, good question. So I was just going through my life and I got a tap. And so, for those, I suppose we'll call them spiritual people in the world, they'll get what I mean. It was a calling
Mhm.
to write my next book,
Right.
um, which I did. But it was a memoir, so it's very personal, and it
Mhm.
talks from birth right up to now
Mm.
of what I've lived, and it was a calling to do this. And so it got titled Inner Wealth,
Yep.
from pain to purpose. But what's interesting is since writing that, it's been such a big shift in myself personally.
Yep.
Um, really, inner wealth is code for what did I just call it? Inner wealth is code for inner worth. It
Yep.
was really valuing what I do and how I show up in the world.
Yep.
So, from writing my memoir, I've had a huge amount of shifts. Um, just recently, which again, it was putting myself in a position to feel uncomfortable because anytime
Mm.
we want to grow, we have to feel uncomfortable. So,
Yeah.
I went to, have you heard of Stories That Stir?
Oh yes, I've been to a few of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, so I did
Mm.
one,
Oh,
a
thank you.
couple of months ago, yeah, and I talked. I've lost 2 siblings to suicide,
Oh,
and so,
sorry to hear
yeah,
that.
that's my driver, and
Mm.
it always has been.
Mm.
Well, my first sibling, that was the driver of how I got into this profession,
Yeah.
because I started seeing a counsellor, for
Yeah.
my own, anger and shutdown and anxiety and all that was going on for me,
Gotcha.
and then I
Yeah.
I I got told, I thought, "Wow." So I've never stopped learning and growing, and I
Mm.
always will. But it was back in, 2021, my younger sister took her life.
Mm.
So, to go through something so catastrophic again,
Mm.
I had to do something really different.
Yeah.
Um, really different. I have got I founded a fundraiser, so I've
Right.
got that happening,
Yeah.
and also writing my book,
Yeah.
and that, if for those who believe, that was my sister tapping me on the shoulder that I have to get this out in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that I can talk about it now and be very neutral
Yeah.
shows the places I've had to go inside of myself to be with that grief and,
Yeah.
you know, so s
Yeah.
the book Inner Wealth, if I just give that a little bit of a tap, it's anybody who is struggling with a loss
Mm.
because we can get stuck.
Yeah.
And when we have pain, as catastrophic as it is, it can be the biggest gift.
Yeah.
Um, to really move
Mm.
move because I think all of our jobs on this planet is to live to our potential, live authentically, and then be of service. And
Yeah.
when you're doing that,
Mm.
it really shifts things.
Yes. Life
Yeah.
is more fulfilling.
Yeah. So the talk I gave at the Stories That Stir was something so painful, but to be
Mm.
so vulnerable in front of a group
Yeah.
and to share what I went through because it was post-traumatic growth. You know,
Mm.
we hear of PTSD, don't we? And we get stuck in that.
Yeah.
But the growth I've had
Mm.
from my sister's passing, I've turned something so painful
Yeah.
into now where I really get to touch people's lives. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It often takes, the hard knocks of life, to point us in the direction of where we're meant to be. I've spoken to so
Totally.
many people who have followed that path, and, myself included. I've had my struggles that have led to understanding how to do my job better. And without that, I think, I don't know. I mean, my intuition can only get me so far, but the struggles is what really helps me to meet people with, where they're at. So, yeah, but you know, it's a horrible thing to have to go through. We wish that we don't have to, but it's what they call bittersweet, isn't it? It's
Yes.
good, but it's oh so not good. And
Yes.
as human beings, we feel the pain, we feel all of it,
Yeah.
and yeah, having to heal through that. I recently started reading some of is it Louise Hay, her work recently,
Yeah.
and talking about using affirmations to heal, various aspects of physical ailments, and was just reminded that what goes on in our head is something that can be really disastrous on our, not just our bodies, but our spirit and our mental health. So,
Totally.
are you surprised by how the self talk that people have?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
Well, I'm
right.
not surprised because I have struggled with that for decades.
Yeah,
But something that has helped me between the researchers say between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., that's the window
mm,
of opportunity to really get in front of your thinking. There's
yeah,
something really special, and having a list of mantras or affirmations on waking, like I've got a really strict morning routine that I do,
yeah,
because it sets me up. We have a negative bias. The mind gets going and off it goes.
yeah,
I call it my 6-lane highway of negativity, you know? And
yeah,
so my job is to really master my thinking and be really aware if I'm going down that road. But
yeah,
that 3 to 5 a.m. thing is great, like to meditate in gratitude and bring in, mantras like, I am the creator of my destiny, or, I am grateful for my body. I mean, just it doesn't really matter, but it's just feeling that.
yeah,
So it's training the brain. But it is also really understanding if you have a bit of a charge, if you've got some energy around someone else or around yourself. The
yeah,
work I've had to do on this book, like, it's absolutely extraordinary
mm,
because it's a memoir. So I've had to touch on my life.
yeah,
And so my um, perception and the stories in my head, how I may have hurt some of the people or
mm,
not written well about them, I've had to do a lot of work around all of that,
right,
um, and to balance that back up.
yeah,
Because there has been downsides to writing this book, huge
yeah,
downsides,
yeah,
but
yeah,
there's also been upsides. But be able to get to a neutral place, but the
Mm,
healing that can come from this, because I
mm,
had such a drive, because I know that this book um, will get people to look in at themselves. That's the whole idea of it.
mm.
To It is the quality of questions you ask yourself.
Yeah,
So it's, yeah, um, nothing's missing. It's just being able to trust the process.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And to, I mean, a lot of us don't know where to start, do we?
No. With anything, it's like whether you write a book or whether you go, "Oh, okay, I wanna go out speaking."
Mm,
It's the fear that stops us.
yeah,
And, we've got lots of excuses,
yeah,
like, I could go and do it, or I want to, or I desire, or I ought to, or I need to, all of these excuses.
mm,
But it's just little tiny bite-sized pieces. Make that phone call,
yeah,
send that
yeah,
message, ask that question, do that action. It's just one action step in the
mm,
direction of it, I think is hugely
yeah,
helpful.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You gotta back it up with
Yeah,
action.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Do you have,
Mm.
like, thinking about your clients, or, one of your retreats, has there been, like, a transformation that really stands out to you?
Okay. Gosh, I'm not sure which one to go
Probably a
with.
lot.
Um, there are, that's the thing, I'm trying to
Yeah.
grab one. Um, so look, there is one particular woman, without sort of, due to confidentiality, but she came to me. Actually, they came as a
Mhm.
couple. We did marriage
Mm.
counselling, and they both did some individual counselling. And then she kept going, and she did
Right.
coaching with me, and she did coaching with me for quite a period
Mhm.
of time. And from that, the marriage ended.
Right.
She was in a profession, a
Yep.
dentist, gave that profession
Wow.
away, and decided to tap into her creativity of music and
Mhm.
art, and then moved overseas. But she was listening to her
Mm.
calling. So imagine that.
That's
I mean,
huge.
that is so
Yeah.
much. Yeah, it is. So you can have that extreme, but you can also have another extreme where, you know, like one couple that comes to mind is so grateful. Like they came in and they just were so what's the word? They're like a
Yeah.
sponge. They
Yeah.
just wanted to learn, and they practiced
Mm.
everything. And the couples workbook that you get when you do the couple
Mm.
package, they practice that
Mm.
each night. And they said that I learned things about my partner that I didn't even realize. And there was this new energy
Yeah.
about them, and it didn't take
Mm.
a lot. There was a real want. She was resentful of him, and he had shut
Mm.
down. So but it didn't take a lot to resurrect it and get it going again, and there was this energy and this, so by the time they came in for the last joint session, they said, "That's enough for now," because it was, you could see that. The energy, it's like the fire, they'd put wood on the
Mm.
fire, and they'd reignited what they knew that they'd had, but they just got busy because a couple of kids and
Mm.
work, and there's a little bit of ill
Yep.
health. Yeah, so it's that for them has been
Mm.
huge because, it didn't get
Yeah.
bigger. That's one thing I would say is, you know, if you've got something wrong with your car, you go to the
Mm.
mechanic, or something wrong with your pipes, you go to
Mm.
the plumber. You just do. If you're not connecting as a
Mm.
couple, seek support.
Yeah.
So as whether it's with me or someone else, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But it often can just be not as big as you
Yep.
think. It can be just a few sessions. There could be a little bit going on there that just needs to be
Yep.
tidied up a bit.
Yep. Yep. Trajectory needs to
Yeah.
just shift just a tiny little bit. Mm.
Mm,
Yep.
mm, yeah.
Mm.
It's the stories that we get caught up in, and the
Yeah.
judgments, often the judgments of ourselves and the judgments of our
Yeah.
partner. And it's being able to unhook from all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Well, that,
Yeah. and just learn different
Oh
ways.
yeah, and that sort of brings me to my last question, which was, what are the key takeaways that you would love our audience to take away with them? And I think you've highlighted a few there, but are there any other things that you would love people to remember?
So if we look at a couple, it's the big 3 C's of couples is
Mhm.
communication, connection, and
Yeah.
chemistry. So communication, learn as a couple how to take time out. So if you can feel yourself getting escalated, you can feel it in the body and you're starting to get really
Mhm.
annoyed, learn how to take time out. Like get on Google and learn how to take
Mm.
time out. ChatGPT, they'll tell you about how to
Love
take
it.
time out as a couple. Learn how to do that really
Yeah.
elegantly. The connection,
Mm.
every day, tap
Mm.
in. Yeah, kiss hello, kiss goodbye, but connection, like really put the phones down, put the kids away, just
Mm.
connect. Like, even if it's just 10 minutes, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And then the chemistry, that is so
Mm.
important to keep that chemistry
Yeah.
alive. It's like a
Yeah.
dance and it's a connection. Otherwise, your flatmates, your
Yeah.
friends. Yeah. Which is what I see in my room. So a lot of my work is getting that intimacy going again. And for women, it's that emotional connection that
Yeah.
women need, particularly. And men often feel like they're inadequate, but men, all they have to do is just
Yeah.
listen. Don't fix it. Don't put on that hat where you got to fix
Yeah.
it. Just listen. So I think those three things, if you
Yeah.
start there, with the communication
Mm.
timeout, the connection, like just 10 minutes a day, and the kiss, hello,
Mm.
and goodbye. It's the touches. Couples stop touching each other, like holding
Mm.
hands. It's really
Mm.
important. And then the
Yeah.
chemistry,
Yeah.
date night, those three ingredients. And if you can just
Yeah.
start there.
And just see what evolves.
Yeah. Yeah. Stopping. I think just people are just so very, very
Yeah.
busy.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. Too easy.
but yeah. But it is your relationship has to be a
Yeah.
priority, and you've got to put it in the calendar like you put everything else
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Date night, yeah. Check-in night, like, yeah, be
I love
creative
it.
with it.
I love it.
Look, I could talk for hours on this.
I'm sure you could. I'm taking more, so I keep going.
Well, yes.
But,
Yeah.
Helen, I really want to thank you so much for your time, your expertise. You have so much more to share, and thank you for what you've shared, and also your vulnerability. And I'm sure our listeners will have gotten so much from that. So thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
So where am I? Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this interview. I'm sure you have, just as much as I have. This show goes live every Thursday at 11 a.m. on YouTube and will be uploaded straight to LinkedIn and Facebook after we finish. Now, if you need a speaker, then please go to womenspeakers.com.au, and you don't have to pay a commission. You can contact your preferred speaker directly, and you can search by topic and location. You are also welcome to post a request into our Facebook and LinkedIn groups called Australian Women Speakers. And if you are a speaker or want to be, sign up to our directory and get found. My name is Rachel Pietsch. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great